Welcome to the Gaslight District, a land of eternal life for all but one of its denizens. A place where everyone has secrets to bury and skeletons to hide. 6 feet deep or 1,000 fathoms under the sea. Eventually, all things rise to the surface.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Animation Era, a show where I discuss my favorite topics from certain shows, games, or movies, and sometimes religion. Today we are talking about Glitch Productions' latest show, The Gaslight District. The Gaslight District is a show that I've been recently obsessing over in the past couple of days. At the time of recording, it came out 3 days ago, and it's one of the coolest pilots I've seen for an idea. Now, I just want to say before the video starts, I'm sorry that it has been a while since I last uploaded. At the time of recording, it's been 5 months since I last uploaded, and I know that is a decently long time, but I promise I'm not dead. I'm still here, and if you guys want to keep up, follow my main channel and my second channel. I post way more often on these. These types of videos take tons of editing, tons of recording, even scripting, so it's way more work than my main channel. So go follow my main channel if you want to see more frequent content. Now, I know this video is called The Main Story of the Gaslight District, but if you guys haven't seen, I would suggest you go watch a video I made called The Main Story of Murder Drones. And I talk about other shows on here as well, such as Hell of a Boss and Has Been a Hotel, which does tie into today's episode in some way, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Now, to start off, the Gaslight District is based on this family that's a part of a mafia gang and that runs a restaurant inside the Gaslight District. This gang is called the Smiling Dead. Now, one of these members, here's a twist, is actually a human, Mel, who's the main character. The show explains that humanity is long gone, has been reformed into people called the Rotlings. These creatures were once now human, but has immortality thanks to the Black Hand, which is the giant statue you can see in a lot of the clips, especially because before the episode 1 pilot was released, there was this website called The Prophecy, and this website basically showed if you put in certain keywords, passwords, it would basically show you more information about the Gaslight District. One of these keywords was the hand. If you typed in the hand, it would show you a little gif of the Black Hand, which it's really unclear what the Black Hand is or where it came from, but I think it might be some sort of religion that might have existed a long time before. Now, thanks to the Black Hand, it looks like these Rotlings, or long gone humanity, live in this kind of hellscape of dullness. There's one shot in the pilot where you can see as they're cementing Jack the Rat, which we'll get to in a second. As you can see, at the bottom of the ocean, we can see old cities, which might be in regards to that's what humanity lived for before, let's say, the Earth was flooded. As you can see in my background, that's basically the Gaslight District. It's a giant floating coliseum that is multiple layers tall, and everyone lives in that area, the whole of the Rotlings and everything. Now, for the main point of the show, it seems that population of humanity, or these Rotlings, have greatly decreased. Now, there's a thing called the human egg. This human egg is foretold to come every 10,000 years and birth a human. Now, these Rotlings don't like humans, and it's pretty unclear why their motive is, why they don't like them. But again, these Rotlings used to be human, but now they're immortal. Although, if they lose a limb, they can sew them back on. It's immortality, but it comes with that dullness of pain, right? So if you experience pain, you're never gonna die. You're gonna be drowning for eternity. It's never going to work. Now, what comes with this hellscape of the Gaslight District also comes its counterpart, Angels Heaven, Paradise Lost, and The Virtues. If you guys know, I've covered similar topics to biblical terms before, such as Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel, which introduced the 7 deadly sins. Now, the Gaslight District introduces its counterpart, which is the 7 heavenly virtues. At the time of the pilot, we have only seen 2 of these virtues, diligence and temperance. Temperance is the virtue of moderation and the opposite of gluttony, and diligence is the virtue of dedication and the opposite of sloth. Now, there's a slight chance we see the other 5 virtues somewhat later in the series, though I wouldn't count on it 100%. Now, I would say the main point of this show is the fact that Mel is a human. That's the only secret kept throughout the entire show. And the only other person that knows is Ken.
The human egg? What are you selling these idiots, huh? There's only ever one human walking around this shithole, and that's you!
Obviously, some of the other characters know, but they've been cemented, aka they've been drowning with their feet in cement, right? Because no one is allowed to know that Mel is a human. Not even Breadhead or Mud. Neither of them even know. Ken is the only other person that knows. So Mel, basically the entire pilot, wants to steal the human egg to destroy it, so no one suspects her of being the human. Which I think is a brilliant idea, except for the very end of the episode when the egg actually hatches and it's an angel inside, not a human. Now, the reason for this is still kind of unknown because this show is very new and it's not really very clear on all its stances, but the mother angel who was protecting the egg might have laid it, and I think that's why it would be an angel. And I feel like that makes sense, but what compels the Rotlings to believe that that would be a human? It also says every 10,000 years. So I'm curious on why they were told, yeah, it's a human egg, and what compelled them to believe it was a human egg. To add on to what they are compelled to believe, why is Mel the only one that's still a human? Every other human has been evolved into this immortal being called Rotlings, but why is Mel still a human? Where does she come from? And why is it so surprising that she is still a human? Maybe because the Rotlings have existed for thousands of years, and to see a real human is insane. Another thing is, the humans are referred to as black blood. Now, the Rotlings and every undead creature, when they're shot or when they lose blood, it's purple. But for humans, it's black blood, which makes it interesting because the purple in the blood for the Rotlings could maybe be with a couple of different aspects, because regular human blood is obviously red. Now, for evolved human blood to be black, that is very interesting, and it's also because it's black blood. It doesn't really reside with red blood in any way, but it's curious how Mel has black blood. I hope that later in this series for the Gaslight District, we get an episode which shows the flashback of humanity and how the Rotlings kind of evolved into this purple blood from humanity. Just like in Murder Drones in the episode Home, it kind of showed Ed's backstory and it kind of evolved and showed why he's here on Copper 9, right? So I really hope that they show an episode where it's purely backstory for the Rotlings and how humanity has evolved to this purple blood, and why Mel, the only human, has black blood instead of red blood. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss any more videos, and I promise you I will probably try and get these videos out more frequently, because I know I've been slacking. It's been like 5 months and I know I've been slacking, but I will try and get them more frequently. Another thing I will say as well is Level Up Expo. At the time of recording, Level Up Expo is happening in 3 days, and it's said that there's going to be some really big announcements for Has-Been and Hell of Us, so I might make a video on that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in the next episode. Goodbye.